Hello, everybody. David Shuster here. Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson is now sweating, literally. In the midst of awful midterm polls, Johnson perspired in glistening and epic fashion as he announced a made-up award for Donald Trump.
He is the suitable and fitting recipient of the first ever America First Award. We can think of no better title for what that is.
And I can think of no better time when somebody should have handed Mike Johnson a towel. Good grief. While Donald Trump at the National Republican Campaign Committee received the America First Award, an eagle, a demonic-looking eagle, Speaker Johnson quickly got an avalanche of ridicule. Asgal. Mike Johnson because Trump's balls won't lick themselves. And Ryan King. The only question for Mike Johnson is, do you spit or swallow? MS Now simply reported this.
That's right. Little Mike Johnson and all those Republicans have just created yet another participation trophy to give their very special boy in the White House to make sure he feels good about himself.
Perhaps Johnson was nervous, and that's why he had so much flop sweat. After all, in recent months, Donald Trump has gotten several made-up awards. The international group that puts on the World Cup gave Trump the inaugural FIFA award. Coal lobbyists gave Trump the undisputed champion award of beautiful, clean coal. And never mind how pathetic these awards are for the creators, including coal lobbyists, FIFA, and Speaker Johnson. Think about Donald Trump.
Any other adult in this country would feel completely embarrassed by the patronizing way that Trump is showered with fake awards on a near daily basis. That's just how Republicans have to treat this president. And it's not just the fake awards, because every day some member of this administration says something straight to camera that tells you really all you need to know about the cult of Donald Trump.
In fact, the day after Speaker Johnson's award, Donald Trump met with cabinet members at the White House who, one after the other, verbally slobbered over him. Iran negotiator Steve Witkoff.
Mr. President, it is my distinct honor to be a member of your cabinet.
Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent.
We are the best insulated in the world thanks to your energy efforts in term 1 and term 2.
Interior Secretary Doug Burgum.
Back on Venezuela, where Chris and I both had a chance to be there, I literally think they're going to put up a statue to President Trump.
When Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth praised Trump and spoke about the war, Trump appeared to fall asleep.
IRGC's Navy commander was killed overnight in operation. So no Navy leader. Now that here's the thing about the media, though. If President Trump had not acted, you'd be screaming, why not?
Secretary of State Marco Rubio decided when it comes to bootlicking a sleepy Trump over the Iran war, why not me?
This has been an incredibly successful operation. Every day, it may not get covered because, we're unlike them. We're not bombing embassies and hotels. We're hitting military targets.
We are hitting military targets every day? No.
Over 100 schoolgirls killed in a series of strikes. The classrooms, once filled with children's voices, are now silent. Iran calling the attack a massacre in broad daylight. Experts telling ABC News this video surfacing online shows a US-made Tomahawk missile hitting a building adjacent to the girls' school.
Back at the Trump cabinet meeting, the president did perk up a bit when asked about Iran possibly agreeing to a deal.
The reason they want to make a deal is they have been just beat to shit.
But Iran is demanding the United States pay reparations for the damage our military caused, and that any deal give Iran control over the Strait of Hormuz. That would enable Iran to force oil and cargo ships to pay Iran a toll. That would be worse for the U.S. and global economy than before the war began. But maybe that's another award waiting for Donald Trump. Undisputed champion in damaging global finances. Instead of the golden eagle that Trump got from Speaker Johnson, Trump could receive a shredded and poop-stained dollar bill to represent the erosion of America's economy and currency. Anyway, midterm voters have their own awards they are ready to give to Donald Trump and the Republican Party. The latest polls show the GOP will be swept out of power in the House by 30 to 40 seats and will also lose their majority in the Senate. Republicans and Trump are now being weighed down heavily by the Iran war.
Trump has lost his one good poll when it comes to the Iran war, because just take a look here. Net approval rating of U.S. military action in Iran. In early March, it broke even, right? 0 points. What that essentially means is 50% approved, 50% disapproved. But down it goes. Look at this now. The net approval rating for the U.S. military action in Iran, negative 16 points. Just 42% of the American public approve of it. 58% disapprove. So now we're looking at basically every single poll in which the clear plurality or majority of Americans disapprove with the U.S. military action in Iran. Trump can no longer point to a poll that actually shows that among the general public at large, that the American public actually approve of this military action.
And the numbers are even worse when voters are asked about Trump's handling of Iran.
Look at this. Overall, 28 points underwater. Very, very unpopular Donald Trump's actions are when it comes to Iran. And look at those in the center of the electorate. Look at independents. Whoo! Negative 58 points. 58 points underwater Donald Trump is when it comes to Iran. And of course, this has been dominating politics over the last month.
In other words, Donald Trump is in deep trouble. But Trump denies it and says he is smart.
I don't want a stupid person being president. You know, I'll say it right now.
Trump doesn't want a stupid person being president. Too late.
I don't want a person with mental disability to be my president. I mean,
anybody out there want to tell him? Maybe do it with an award. The trophy for being severely out of touch with the most obvious psychological projection goes to Donald Trump. Runner-up, with special mention for anxiety and flop sweat, House Speaker Mike Johnson. By the way, even conservative media figures are ridiculing Donald Trump.
If Iran, as you said, totally obliterated, got the missiles, got the first 2 rounds of leadership, Air Force gone, Navy gone, can we wrap this war up this week?
yeah, sure. Okay.
Will we?
I don't think so, but it'll be soon. Won't be long.
We can send in the special forces or the 2,500 Marines that we have in the area to go in and grab the 460 kilos of enriched uranium, which the Iranians say they have.
Well, of course, I'm not going to get ahead of the president.
Answer the question.
But here's what I'll remind you and the American people. The president has every single tool in his toolbox.
Check out that video at the link below. It generated a lot of comments on YouTube. One of the most popular is from BP, who writes, "It's time to take Grandpa's car keys and nuclear codes away from him." Indeed. I look forward to reading your comments about a sweaty and pathetic House Speaker Mike Johnson giving Donald Trump a new made-up award. I'm David Shuster. Thanks for joining us.